And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm taking a look at a game from KOSMOS called Lumis. This is from Stephen Glenn, who is known for games like Balloon Cup, and this is a pure abstract game. I think there might be a theme on the box, but let's not kid ourselves. It's an abstract game. And it's a pretty simple abstract game where you need to connect two sides of the boards. We've seen many like that. What makes this one different? Let me show you. The goal of the game is very simple. It's the yellow player or players against the red players, and you are trying to make a line of these flames that goes from one side all the way across to the other side. The first team or player to do that is the winner. Now each team has their own deck of cards, and these deck of cards show this very exciting looking terrain on here in the 4 different colors: blue, green, white, and purple. And so players will take this deck, shuffle, draw cards. Players will also have some cards in front of them. One is a 2 and a 3. The other is a 1 and a 4. They will start on a specific side depending on who goes first or not. The player who goes first will have the cards on the lower numbers because they have an advantage of going first. Now on your turn, you have some options. First, you can draw more cards. To draw cards, you look at the numbers in front of you. Maybe I want to draw 4 cards. Fine, I draw 4. But then I flip the card over. Next time I use this card to draw cards, I will only get 1, but then I get to flip it over back to 4, while the 2 alternates between the 2 and the 3. If I have a partner, I can also give them cards. Same thing. I want to give my opponent 2 cards, I give him 2 cards, flip this over. Now next time I want to do that action, I can give 3 cards. I can build a tower. To build a tower, you simply need 1 or more cards of the color of these big hexagons here. So let's say I'm yellow, and I play 1 white, and I can build a tower here. The problem, though, is, first of all, you don't have to use 1. I could play 3 purples and place a purple tower here. Because if my opponent wants to, on their turn, they can play a tower that's at least 1 higher than mine. Maybe they have 2 whites, and then they place a double red tower here. And mine gets kicked off. Now, just so you know, these towers, they come apart. They're actually pretty sturdy, and you got to push hard to get them in, but you can see they fit there pretty strong like that. Now, if I want to connect 2 of my towers on the board, this is the only way to put flames on the board, really. You can build towers. So to connect these, I can do it any way I want. I can go, but probably the straightest path is the best. So I would need to play maybe a blue, 2 greens, and then 2 more blues. So 3 blues and 2 greens. I would play those cards from my hands. Well, it's purple, but you get the gist of it. And once I do that, they're connected. They can't be cut through, and those towers can't be taken over by my opponents again. You can spend any card to build a tower on your end line so that you can then connect that one. And that's pretty much it. The game other than that is pretty simple. Again, the first person to connect their 2 opposite sides is the winner of the game, or the team of 2 players who does that. I'm not sure the box needed to be this big for this game. It doesn't feel like a game that's this big, but it does allow you to have a big board. And the pieces are just really beautiful pieces. The flames across the board looks pretty neat. Now, there's not a lot of, ooh, I did something different this time. No, you're essentially connecting your 2 sides of the board. The game plays with 2 or 4 players. I think that it's best with 4 because the whole team aspect is much more interesting. When they give your opponent cards, you're not allowed to communicate, right? I mean, you're allowed to talk, but you're not allowed to communicate about what you're doing. So you can't say, I'll connect these 2 and you work on that. So you have to kind of, by giving each other cards, you can kind of communicate what you want that person to do. And I found that very interesting. The game itself will probably appeal maybe people like Ticket to Ride, where you collect cards to do things, and you each have your own deck. So it's not like the other person is stealing all the colors that you want. There's also elements of older abstract games, Twixt and things. Again, we're connecting the sides. There's a point in most games, like 75% of the way through, where you can be like, you're going to win. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there is some luck in the card draw per se, but I think if you like things like Kingdom Builder, which I don't like actually that much, but that whole playing cards to build different things in the board, it has a very visually appealing effect, and it's also a good pair versus pair game. There's not many of those out there. So in that instance, I like this one. If you have a chance to get it, there's no U.S. publisher at this point, but KOSMOS is a pretty big company over in Germany. That's Lumis. Dice Tower Judgment, approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
There.